YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. So, 4-1-1 last night. We will take it. That means in our last 2 days, we are 9-1-1, which is a little bit of a different tune than we were singing just a couple days ago. It's good to get back into the green there. I will say, make sure you guys keep an eye on that pinned comment because that is where things are being updated, and that's where my final plays are going. So, as you guys know, or maybe if you don't know, I jump on here. It's 5 a.m. right now. We record these videos very early, and a lot can happen between now and game time. So, the pinned comment that we have will be kind of our way to update you guys throughout the day. And we added on 3 player props yesterday that we didn't have in the video yesterday. All 3 of those player props hit yesterday. So that was a huge part of our success in the day. So you know what I mean? Like just keep an eye on that pinned comment because there's only so much that we know and can provide this early on the slate. And a lot can sort of change between now and game time. So keep an eye on that pinned comment. That's going to be where my final plays are. We obviously want to get this video out and get it recorded early. So much can happen in the meantime. So we're just doing our best, but make sure to keep an eye on that pinned comment. That's going to be my final tick, and I also throw in some plays or player props that I'm considering throughout the day, but then we'll have a section sort of for the final ticket as well if you guys do want to ride with the final ticket. But nonetheless, we got 5 games on the slate today. Player props will be added to the pinned comment. I don't have any for you guys yet, but we are starting to heat up in that category as well. So let's just jump right into it. We have Sixers at Pistons. So the Sixers coming off of a win yesterday against Chicago, which a lot of people were on Chicago. And Pistons, no Tobias Harris. As we know, no Ben Simmons. Take down a Chicago team that's pretty damn good. So, you know, they might be feeling themselves. They're riding high. They traveled to Detroit now, who Detroit is struggling to say the least. They did beat Orlando. That was their last win, or I should say only win, actually, of the year. Lost to Brooklyn, lost to Milwaukee. Philly 6.5-point favorites. The total is 208.5. This one's pretty tough. Like, I know they're coming off a back-to-back. I know anything can happen with Embiid. They might not, play him a full amount, but I'm definitely not riding with Detroit here, right? So this is going to be a lean towards the Sixers. I don't know if I'm going to end up pulling the trigger on that. I mean, if this was the line and the Sixers weren't on a back-to-back, I'm obviously going to be rolling with the Sixers here, but this is one that I have to think about just a little bit more here. Philly is playing really well against the spread in the last 6 games, and even this year, they're 5-3 against the spread here, and Detroit is 2-5. So I'm leaning towards Sixers -6.5, but I kind of want to wait to see if anything comes out of nowhere with some guys not playing because it's a back-to-back. So I'll lean Sixers, but that's exactly a perfect reason why you guys got to keep an eye on that pinned comment. Because, if guys get ruled out and anything like that, I'm going to say, hey, no, I'm staying away from this one now. I'm not pulling the trigger anymore. But if Embiid's playing, if no other injuries or no other names are out, then I'm probably going to lean towards the Sixers here, -6.5. Next up, Celtics. My Celtics got a dub last night. We didn't bet on them because I can't trust this team, but they got a dub last night. Now they're traveling to Miami in back-to-back days. Miami 7-point favorites. The total is 216. Oh, man. I mean, this is a biased pick, so definitely use your own brain with this one, but I do think that that's 7 points. If the Celtics, they whooped Miami last night. I mean, they whooped Orlando last night. Orlando's not a good team, but there's so much turmoil going on with this team and so much off-court drama right now that, I think that people think the Celtics are worse than they are because of all that, because Marcus Smart called out Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum only had 14 points last night, yada, yada, yada. That's going to make the general public think the Celtics stink, right? Which the Celtics don't stink. All they have to do is click for one game, and they can play really, really well. So that 7 points is probably that's right on the line of me wanting to go with the Celtics here. It's biased, so I'm definitely not taking Miami -7. If anything, I would look at Celtics here +7, but I really, really would like to mention to you guys that this could just be a biased pick. Like, I don't know if I truly like them +7 here. What I will say is that over 216, that could find its way onto the ticket. I know Miami plays good defense, but I think the Celtics are waiting for a sort of boom type game, and eventually that's going to happen. And, I don't think that the Celtics defense is anything to write home about. And this Miami team is easily averaging, or at least scoring, 110 plus if they need to. So I would definitely consider that over 216, but make sure to check the pinned comment if you guys do want to see if I am playing that today. All right, let's move on to the Jazz at Hawks. Jazz 1-point favorites as they visit Atlanta here. Atlanta's on the second night of a back-to-back where they just lost to Brooklyn. I like the Jazz here. It seems like a trap game for me. It seems like a really good spot for Atlanta. I can admit that. But the Jazz are one of the best teams in the league right now. Donovan Mitchell, probable tonight. And that's kind of all I need to see. Obviously, if he plays, I think I'm going to be rolling with the Jazz. They are, they're a good away team. Atlanta's a really good home team. So this sort of is up in the air. But I truly do think the Jazz are just a better team than the Hawks. And we can be honest here. The Hawks 3-0 against the spread at home, 0-5 away. So it's a pretty big deal that the Hawks are home here. I think that's why this spread is as low as it is. But I think the Jazz get up for big games, and I think that they are just a little bit better than the Hawks here. And playing on a back-to-back when you have John Collins, Bogdanovich, and Trae Young kind of banged up. They're all probable, so they're all probably going to play for this big game. But I think I'm going to lean Jazz here. So that's probably going to find its way onto my final ticket, but we shall see. Keep an eye on that pinned comment. I feel like I say keep an eye on that pinned comment after every single play I give you guys, but that's the truth. Keep an eye on that pinned comment. The total there is 220.5. I'm not touching that. This game could go, one of two ways. It could be a shootout between two teams, or both teams could lock up defensively. So 220.5, I am not touching. Houston Rockets taking on the Suns. Suns 10.5-point favorites. Total is 218. I like the Suns here. I think that the Suns are finally starting to turn the corner. I think that, you look at what the Suns did against the Pelicans, and they covered that double-digit spread. They also covered, they won Cleveland by 10 or 9, so they were right there too. I think that this Rockets team is obviously not very good, so I would lean Suns here. I'd want to see if Cameron Payne's active or if DeAndre Ayton's active. I think that's obviously a big deal. But as of right now, I would lean Suns just because I think you can bet against the Rockets. I know that they just covered against LA, but to me, this Rockets team obviously isn't good. I'm not breaking any news here, and I think that the Suns might be starting to turn the corner, so I am leaning 10.5 Suns, but that's definitely one that's going to be tough for me to pull the trigger on, because you guys know how I feel about double-digit spreads. I don't love them that much whatsoever, All right, last but not least, we have the Thunder at Lakers. Lakers, 13-point favorites here. That number's so big that it makes me want to pull the trigger on the Thunder, but I'll be honest. I feel like we can't get too greedy with this Thunder team. We already had them as 12-point dogs against the Clippers, and I feel like taking them as 12-point plus dogs, like the 13 tonight, 12-point plus dogs multiple times here. I feel like we can't push our luck with this team, right? So I might be staying away from this game for, the reasons that that's a huge number. The Lakers have been so inconsistent. Like, they beat the Rockets, like we were just talking about. They beat the Rockets by 2. And yet they want us to think that, they can beat the Thunder, who are, terrible. We can admit that, but beat them by 13. This Lakers team's so inconsistent. The injury report's always sort of, fluctuating who's in, who's out. So I think I'm sticking away from this one for sure. It's just it's too tough. Like, I could see the Lakers easily winning this game by like 20, but I just can't lay 13 with an inconsistent Lakers team. The total is 217.5, which I don't like that number either. Like, both these teams have put up plenty of 90 games, Thunder especially, I guess. So I'm sticking away from this game. There's only 5 games on the slate today, guys. I know I gave you some pretty, a bunch of leans more than anything. I don't want to force anything here. We are on a very good, good streak here. 2 days in a row now. We're on a little bit of a heater, 9-1-1. I'm not trying to force any plays, so just keep an eye on those pinned comments throughout the day. And I know I got a couple different questions. Hey, when's this fully up to date? The pinned comment will say tickets so far, and then, player props and picks that we're considering as well. It's not final until I change the title of that section on the pinned comment saying final ticket and that type of thing. And that's usually right around, I don't know, early evening, maybe like 5, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Games start at 7, so really I give myself up until then. So just keep an eye on that. And you can't say, oh, Ev, you said this in the video, but then you changed your mind in the pinned comment. I'm completely transparent with you guys that pinned comment is the final ticket. So, if you're watching this right now and, it comes out this morning and you want to rush to the book and get a bet in, just know that I probably haven't even put mine in yet. Like, I will wait. I will see what happens. And anything can happen. Like, I waited and waited for the Spurs +1 last night. That was our push. And if I just waited a little bit longer, we would have gotten Spurs +2 and it would have cashed. So, you don't always want to rush to the counter there to get your bets in. And that's kind of what I'm saying with the pinned comment. Just keep an eye on that, because I'm sure we'll have, 2 to 3 player props that we add on to this ticket. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the heater that we're on. It's fun doing these videos. And we will be right back here giving you guys picks tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are winning with me right now. We're coming out of the mud like, nah, we're still living. I told you that this was a heavyweight fight against Vegas that we're going the distance with. So hopefully you guys are riding, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Keep an eye on that pinned comment and make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.